touchdown.
The route, and Randy Moss, without even really being able to run, as he shoots the moon to the
pass, pumps to the left, 8 seconds left. He gets away from the pressure, fires to the end zone. It's caught! It's Greg Lewis! Oh my heavens! Greg Lewis's first catch has given the Minnesota.
Four, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's another episode of House Calls with Skull Doc. I'm Skull Doc. This is Dave. This is brought to you by Minnesota Sports Talk. Welcome back. Dave, it's game day, man. Are you ready to go?
Dude, I am so ready. We got a game in like 9 hours. Let's go. Let's
freaking go. And big game today, and bye week's coming up. Let's get that last win before the bye week. Rest up. We're actually pretty healthy right now, but we got a big one coming up against the Lions at home after the bye week. Not to look forward, but we got to secure that win today against our nemesis in Aaron Rodgers. Could be the last time we see the Vikings play Aaron Rodgers before he retires.
Yeah, it's something, man. He's got a winning record on us. A lot of it came against Christian Ponder. I think like 5 wins against Christian Ponder or something like that. So other than that, he's like got 11, 10, and 1 or something like that. I think someone posted today on Twitter. And I think Kirk Cousins had a winning record against the Packers. So it's, let's hope. Let's send him 0-1 as a Jet against us. That's what I want.
Yeah, he may have owned the Chicago Bears, but he did not own the Minnesota Vikings.
He did not own us. No. And we had some rough patches there, and they were good, and we still would beat them.
Yeah, we split with them an awful lot. So those were always fun games against Aaron Rodgers. I have a hell of a lot of respect for Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback. The person is kind of annoying, and I think that everyone's a little bit done with him when it comes to Aaron Rodgers, the person. But it's clear watching him this season that he's not the MVP, back-to-back MVP caliber quarterback that he used to be, but he still looks pretty good. I mean, he's got a good arm, and but that Jets offense has its issues. So with that said, let's jump into our game preview here, and let's just stay on that side of the football. So when the Jets have the football so far this season, we thought that offense, the identity of that offense was going to go through Breece Hall, an electric running back, shifty, powerful, and instead, Braylon Allen, a third-round draft pick, has looked better than Breece Hall this year, and they have not been able to run the football well. They have not been able to pass the football well. Their only wins this season coming against Tennessee Titans. And I mean, that's not very impressive. Defensively, they're a good team, but offensively, this team has been a mess. And if you ask me, like, this is not a good opportunity for them as a get-right game going against the Brian Flores-led defense, even though this game is not in Minnesota. So we'll see. They're not going to be dealing with the same crowd noise as they would have dealt with at the bank. But I'm hopeful that there's going to be a lot of purple in those stands. It seems like on social media, there's a lot of London, citizens of London wearing the purple and excited for this football game. So,
and they seem pretty. I seen some interviews and asking them who's going to do what, whatever. Mm-hmm. They seem super knowledgeable, which is great. And you said it right. We've been there a few times in the last decade, and it's going to be a home. And I said this, I think, last week at some point, that this seems like it's going to be a home game it is our home game. The Viking logos on both sides of the end zone, which I think is awesome. And then, our fans are going to travel. Who knows? Maybe the Jets fans will too. It's a lot of New Yorkers, right? But I think the home crowd's on for us, not the Jets, because they've been awful.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's like I was saying, it won't be like a game at the bank, but it's also not going to feel like an exhibition game where it's 50-50 either. I do think that there will be more purple making some noise when the Vikings are on defense, making it a little bit tougher for Aaron Rodgers. But with that said, I do think that Aaron's going to be able to use the hard count in that environment. And so it'll be up to the Brian Flores defense to stay disciplined, not jump, not give them any free plays, because that with Aaron Rodgers, he will make you pay on one of those free plays. He's done it more than any other quarterback in the NFL.
Right. And he's masterful. And one of the things I always complain about, let's say our quarterbacks, is at certain points got better as last couple of years under Connell, was getting thrown away, living another day. Aaron Rodgers is masterful at that. At least he had been with the Packers his career. He doesn't. It's hard to get a pick off him. There's seasons where I think he had like less, I don't know, 5, something like that, interceptions. I would have to go back and look, but it always seems like he was in single digits and sometimes low. But yeah, he lives for another day. It's hard to get a pick off of him. Uh, he's just another situation. Unlike a fourth quarter against Love, where keep him in the pocket, don't let him extend plays, don't let people, do the scramble drill on us, and that defense is gonna kill people. And it's the same way with Aaron Rodgers. Same way with Aaron Rodgers. Keep him in the pocket, don't let him extend the play, and get after him.
Yeah, and his
Stay
knees
disciplined.
ailing right now. He got hit a lot by Denver last week. Denver sent 4-man rushes a lot of the time. This might be a game where the Vikings, I still think they're going to simulate pressure and show you a lot of people at the line, but I don't think they're going to send more than 4 very often against the Jets. If I had to guess
Makes
the game
sense, yeah.
plan. And their right tackle had a really tough game last week. I think that will be a point that the Vikings really try to attack. That offensive line for the Jets, which has not been good, and Aaron Rodgers has been getting hit. So, like I said, I think this is a game where I expect the Vikings defense to continue to look very good and dominate it. And I would be surprised if the Jets had more than 10 points at halftime.
Yeah, I have him only scoring 10, so I got him 20. I'll save it later, but I only had a little teaser. I only got him scoring 10 points.
Yeah.
And the thing I said last week, which looked like it was going to happen, we both thought it was going to be a 2-score blowout or better. I had us, I think I might have said 31-13 or something like that. I remember being 34-13 because that was 21 points. I thought I was on that course until the muff punt, and I was flipping excited. This week, I think hopefully they learned their lesson and they did it in a win, which was awesome. Just keep your foot on the gas. And when they did beat us, it was Jordan Love getting out of the pocket and hitting a guy on the sideline in the gap between the safety and the corner, and they just marched down the field in less than 2 minutes and scored a touchdown to come within 2. Then onside kick, and we get it. But hey, we can't do that. How do you feel like because of potential injury of Aaron Rodgers, of pressure up the middle, finding a way to pressure him up the middle, or if we do blitz, do it that way up the middle?
Yeah, I think the Vikings have been pretty good at applying pressure at all 3 areas of the defensive line: left, right, middle, through scheme and whatnot, through loops, with Van Ginkel looping around the end into the middle of the defensive line, which he did against the Houston Texans to get a sack on C.J. Stroud. So I think that we'll continue to see that. I think that Dallas Turner might have a little bit of a show-up game here. I think he could get a sack or 2 in this type of ball game. And, I would just expect more of the same with the Vikings defense. I think they're going to eat one more time.
I think there was one highlight this last game where our outside we had a outside rusher take out 2 blockers, and we looped around a lineman and got the pressure that way. And this smart football, man, and seeing an opportunity and taking it and taking out 2 blockers when they weren't obviously weren't expecting it. So I that is the thing about this defense that has impressed me probably the most is the creativity on getting rushing with 4.
Yeah, and the
And you
selflessness.
just describe. Oh yeah, and this is the most selfless defense I've seen in a while.
Yeah. I mean, you
In a
have
long
defensive
time.
tackles like you just mentioned, Jerry Tillery, who's taking out a guard and a tackle, and that's his job on that play. His job is not to apply pressure. His job is to allow Van Ginkel to apply the pressure and get the sack, right?
Yeah.
So it's great that people are buying in, and it shows. That's how a defense constructed as this one, without a lot of all pros, right? Pro Bowl talent, is able to play together, swarm to the football, cause turnovers, and it's a lot of fun to watch. And I will say on the Pro Bowl note that there are players on this defense playing and who deserve a Pro Bowl nod, such as Cashman. That guy is one of the best linebackers in the league right now. He's absolutely playing out of his mind. Stephon Gilmore, he's not being targeted. Teams are scared to throw at him. He's been phenomenal. Such a great signing for the Vikings. Harrison Smith has been playing very well. He had a little bit of a down game against the Packers with a couple of missed tackles. Grenard is second in the league right now with pressures against the quarterback, with Aiden Hutchinson leading the league with a just crazy amount of pressures. That guy's having an unreal season. But so, yeah, I mean, there's definitely guys in this defense playing their ass off, but as a collective whole, they are just playing so well as a team. And hats off to Brian Flores. I mean, just doing what he does best and keeping quarterbacks guessing, keeping them uncomfortable, and letting this defense play fast and make checks. And that's going to be a big point for tomorrow because Aaron Rodgers is going to make a lot of checks based off the defensive look. And then it's going to be up to this defense to make checks based on Aaron's checks and get him into the right play to be successful. So that's going to be exciting to watch. It's going to be a chess match tomorrow.
Yeah, and I feel like on our side too, on our offensive side of the ball, you're talking about checks and stuff. You got to get up the line to do that, right? And I want us to see go up tempo, and in a situation where and put our foot on their necks. And I think that's what I think we did that like in a series. We just brought it out. I think it was against the Giants. And I don't think I've seen it too much lately. Do you feel like I don't think we're getting up to the line with 15 seconds left like we were with Kirk running the offense?
I think
And that was
yeah,
you know
I
what I'm
agree
saying?
with you. Yeah, 100%. I agree. And somebody asked Kevin O'Connell, I don't know if you saw, but that question got posed to him.
Oh, you did? Okay, cool.
Yeah, and
I feel smart now.
it might have been with his talk with Paul Allen. They released that thing on the Vikings.com that you can go watch that. It was a really insightful 30 minutes. If you haven't seen that, I would go watch it. But one of the questions was, do you want to get to the line a little bit faster? We've had a couple delay game penalties and whatnot. It just seems like, they're getting to the line with 10 seconds or less, and there's not much time to make checks, and it seems hurried. And I believe his answer was along the lines of, yes, that's important. We have to get things moving faster. We just overall need our offense to have a little bit more urgency in getting up to the line and getting the play call out. He says that it does start with himself, Kevin O'Connell, but it also is up to Sam Darnold as well. So it's a work in progress. I think that this is just my opinion, but I think it's harder, obviously, when you're in Lambeau Field and you can't hear anything, right? And it's just going to take a few more seconds to get your ducks in a row. So should be better this week. Didn't really notice it as much against the Texans at home or the Niners at home.
Yeah, I think we'll gradually be able to grow in that area. But that's the one big thing I've noticed that's different than the past 2 years is that, and that was in the last 2 years was totally different compared to the Zimmer years. We were getting up there with 5 seconds and snapping and hurrying to snap the ball with those offensive coordinators. But then, it's the first game we were out there, getting up there with 15 seconds left. And I was like, hallelujah, this is what I've been waiting for. And I know the great thing about this is that we had the defense to keep people out of the end zone, and we're growing, and we're allowed time for Sam to grow in this offense and to get the calls. And I imagine the calls are long as shit. And
yeah, and there's probably 2 calls for every play. You got a run call, you got a pass call with the ability to can it.
And I think Sam's an intelligent guy, and athletically, he's above average and everything athletically for a quarterback. Maybe average height, but yeah, but everything else he's like completely above average. So I think the mentality will be there. The confidence is obviously there now that hadn't been in previous careers. He showed up in spurts, but now it's consistent. He's a legitimate MVP candidate, especially because of the the turnaround. We're 4-0, and just the way he's been playing. Leading the league in touchdowns. And those matter to me. I don't care about these analytics and stuff, but punching the ball in the end zone is the number one thing for me with a quarterback, and he's got that in spades. And the fact that he's limited his turnovers is a big deal. Although there's been two, the one's not really one, but it got called that, but it was still a throw in a pick. It should have been a pick, but it ended up being one, but it really wasn't. But that's 2 in the red zone. We could have more points. You could have more touchdowns right now. It's honestly better than doing it in your own your foot at your own end zone, right? Yeah. I guess it's better than that, but yeah, you got to limit those. But again, I keep saying this: 3 to 5 mistakes a game. He had about 5 this last game, and not in previous games they went our way, kind of thing. Now there's a couple that didn't because So it's 3 to 5 mistakes a game any quarterback makes. He's not making more than that. I'll take it all day long. Keep it up.
Yeah, for $10 million, by the way. That's all we're paying him. Like, we are seeing, like, in my opinion, the top percentile Sam Darnold that we could see. So this is fortunate for us. And we're just going to have to live with those 3 to 5 plays every week that you're talking about. I don't think those are going anywhere. I think that is what it is.
I think I said it on my last 2 shows. If I knew, like last week, I was wanting us to extend Kirk because I thought we had a win now team, and I had a host and a guest laugh at me thinking we didn't. And then this year, we bring Sam Darnold in. I'm like, oh great, I'm being told we're giving up on the season. We won't be good for 2 years. I'm flipping ecstatic that Sam Darnold turned out to be what he was. And I even went on to say, I would have packed Kirk Cousins' bags myself if I knew Sam Darnold would come in here and play this good and have the health for our franchise financially be set up. It would have still been fine. We would still had a lot of cap room and everything, but we're getting one awesome year, and we got the JJ McCarthy. We may have a second year. We may have a third year of Sam Darnold. I don't know. I'm not going to worry about that until after the season.
Right. Yeah,
but
exactly.
If I knew Sam was going to be like this, I've said now 3 times, 3rd show in a row, I would have packed his bags Sam Darnold, let's go.
It's always scary moving on from your franchise quarterback because you don't know grass isn't always greener on the other side, but it's been a lot of fun.
I see a video. Would it be that bad? Would it be that awful if we tanked and got the first pick of the draft next year? Yes, it would be awful. It would be horrible. It'd be devastating.
Yeah.
It's a win now team, and Sam Darnold is doing awesome.
It's not fun to not win. So, I mean, ask Bears fans. But let's transition to the defenses, the Vikings offense side of the ball. Now, I'm pretty confident that the Vikings are going to win this game. They're going to win this game handily, like we've been picking them. They haven't given me a reason not to pick them as of yet. So I'm going to keep picking the Vikings to win. But the one way that I can see the Jets winning this game and stealing it against the Vikings is, number one, with turnovers, like we just talked about, Sam Darnold. This is a really good pass defense that we're playing with corners that can take the football away. Sauce, you got Sauce, you got DJ Reader back there, both excellent corners. And you got Quinnen Williams on the defensive line who can pressure you up the middle. So it might be a long day for Ed Ingram and Garrett Bradbury. Kevin O'Connell's going to have to scheme some stuff up to keep Sam Darnold clean, keep him out of pressure, stop him from making mistakes. But this Jets defense is a defense that has struggled against the run so far this year. And so this might be a game where we see Aaron Jones and potentially Ty Chandler have a big game, and we might see Kevin O'Connell lean on that a little bit more. And I think in that scenario, the Vikings will be just fine if they do run the ball. But if they get a little bit too pass happy against this defense, I do have reservations about turning the football over, giving Aaron Rodgers a short field, and giving the Jets an avenue to win this game. So I think that if the Vikings can control the football, and we know this, right? Like Kevin O'Connell's 21-0 when he ties or wins the turnover battle, so it's hugely important. But this is a defense that you can run on. So let's do it, man. Let's run the damn football.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, Packers had one pressure against us last week, and I contribute to the screen game that we
Against
had
the
against
tackles, right? You mean defense? You mean pressures against Sam Darnold?
I think it was pressures against Sam Darnold.
So the tackles, Darisaw and O'Neal gave up a total of one pressure against Sam Darnold, but they had
we're limiting pressures.
Yeah.
This last game, and I contributed a lot to the screen game that we had this last game. Very creative. I think the first one was the only one that kind of looked a little awkward because the lineman didn't get out fast enough, but Aaron Jones made up for it. The dude just opened up a playbook for us in the passing game with the screen game. It's a lot more creative. He brought that out. I think that's going to limit pressures. They can't pin their ears back. They can't pin their ears back when we have that in our bag, and that's something we hadn't had. We just haven't had it. And I don't know how many times I saw Cook fall on his butt, or drop a pass, or even Ty Chandler last year wasn't.
Alexander Madison couldn't catch a cold last year. He could not catch the football.
Yeah, so, it was like huge. A contagion. With our running backs,
have gone from worst to first when it comes to their screen game. It's been phenomenal.
Yeah, this is great. It's amazing. It's just everything that I've had a complaint about with O'Connell and his offense has come full circle to where we're dominant in the screen game. One of the better running teams in the league. And obviously we've been a very efficient passing the ball. So everything has come full circle, or at least, been super competitive, even though the passing game's down, it's for a reason. We're more rounded offense, and that's great.
Yeah, 100%. Are you concerned about the turf conditions at this field? I'm not really. I have seen that, people talked about how this turf can be hit or miss and people can slip a little bit, but I think that's something the Vikings are probably well prepared for, and I don't think it's going to be an issue. Hell, they just played at Lambeau. I think Lambeau's been a bigger issue for the Vikings in the past.
But Packer fans were putting up articles about how they had the best outdoor field, and I'm like, it was kind of weird.
They got really butthurt about taking criticism about their field. Like, listen, we're not saying that Lambeau's not historically one of the greatest stadiums in the history of the NFL. We're just saying that the grass sucks when it comes to field conditions at certain times of the year when there's a lot of precipitation or whatever. And footing is difficult. Now, that's proven year after year at Lambeau. It's indisputable. So they can get over that one.
This guy named Philip Cheesesteak, J. Philip Cheesesteak. I wish I loved anything as much as Vikings fans love a September win. I was like, I wish I was as proud of a September loss as a Packer fan. I'm like,
yeah, seriously.
Killing me, man.
It was unfortunate that we just didn't continue to kick the shit out of them.
Yeah.
And we gave them this false hope. I wouldn't say false hope, because they are a good team, and I fully expect them to.
I've said they were
get a wild card spot. I do think they'll end up making the playoffs, but I don't think they're a Super Bowl team.
I also said they were saying. Someone said something about, Jordan Love playing on one leg. I said, well, Sam Darnold's got 3. He can borrow you one.
Nice.
All right. Those are my jokes for today.
So let's get into our pick 6 over unders for the game, and then after that we'll pick the game.
Oh, pick 6. All right. I need an intro for that. All right, we got Justin Jefferson 16.5. Doc.
76.5 yards for Justin Jefferson.
Disrespect.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always going over on Justin Jefferson. I will take the over on this, but I will say that, Sauce Gardner, DJ Reader, these are really good corners. So it's gonna be tough for him. It's gonna be a matchup for him. But I trust KOC to get him on a wide open crosser a couple times, and those are gonna add up pretty quickly. So give me the over.
Yeah, I'm the over too, and unless Justin Jefferson is like a doubtful for the game or questionable, now do you also feel like they'll be tempted to go to cover him 1-on-1 too often? Or well, one of my big things, if they do, teams can't always double Justin Jefferson because of our other receivers, and God forbid when TJ Hawkinson comes in. This is not a smart play. Do you feel like they'll single cover him? Go man to man a lot, or what do you think on this team?
The Jets do play a lot of man to man, more than most teams because of the corner talent that they have. With that said, they typically have a safety over the top when it comes to Justin Jefferson, so he will still get double teamed, and that's what we saw the last time they played as well. So I don't think they play
that with like crossing routes.
Yeah, crossing routes, corner routes, drag routes, things like that. So he'll get his catches. The thing that I feel like I'd like to see the Vikings shift to more is, so far it's felt like everything to Justin Jefferson feels like it's down the field. It needs to be in a chunk. To whereas, can we just get the guy open like we did on that crossing route that gained 30 some yards in the fourth quarter against the Packers? Can we just do more of that and just get him the ball within 5 yards?
2 years, the opening day against the Packers 2 years ago, crossing route.
Mm-hmm.
Now, also like with having a single coverage and a safety over the top, I think it called dagger.
Yeah.
A deep in route. That's always good too. But yeah, then we got Jordan Assen, super disrespected here at 38.5. That's got to start getting into the 50s, don't you think?
I agree. I 100% agree. I'm not going to go under unless they start getting that number up around 50 to 60, because I think that's, 3 grabs and he's there. So do you think that Jordan Assen is going to end up with 3 catches? I do.
Yeah.
I think it's an easy over.
Yeah, this is an easy over. And I'm leaning in. I know you're like a little not suspect, like you're thinking more running this week for us than passing. I feel like we're gonna pass enough to get these guys, and you seem to too, these yards. And Jordan Assen coming off another great game, and and we're not passing the ball that much. They're not getting 10 catches a game, 11, 12 catches a game. We are getting more chunk yardage. But geez, Jordan Assen is going to be left open a lot, I think.
I agree.
Aaron Jones, 66.5 rushing yards. It's popping up every week.
Yeah. I had to go with the over because of the way that I just think the game script is going to go. I think they're going to try to run on this Jets defense. And Jones has been hyper efficient. The Vikings have been using Jones more and more. And I feel like using Ty Chandler maybe a little bit less and less as the season's gone on. I'd like to see that balance out just a little bit more just to keep Aaron Jones fresh. But we do have the bye week coming up next week. So maybe they view this as an opportunity to, get Jones utilized and busy this week and then let him rest up next week. But I'm going to take the over. And I think that, Jones probably adds another 50 yards receiving on top of this and ends up with another 125 all-purpose yards for this game. He's going to have a big game.
And I think it does kind of matter it being an AFC game and not an NFC rival or an NFC game a little bit. I do feel like London, the traveling, I've made that trip 3 times now. It's usually flying overnight and getting there in the morning. I don't know how they did it, but it does wear on you physically. I do feel like maybe that will add to the little more disbursement back to the 60-40, at least this game. And, keeping everybody healthy and fresh, even going into a bye week, I feel like no, it's almost like you're going into a bye week. You don't want to run someone into the grave right before the bye week. You want to make sure he's healthy coming out of the bye week. And I think it's a great opportunity to get maybe that longer rest more than anything. But I think it's more like the road coming off a big carry game against the Packers. He's done it 2 weeks in a row now. Let's disperse it a little bit. And I don't think he necessarily wanted to, but it was the Packers, and that's why he gave him the ball a whole lot. So this week maybe a little less. He can still break it. I still want him to. I did it to light a fire on him for my fantasy team because now I need him. I need him starting every week now. So come on, Aaron. I picked the under. Give me a Hondo. Mm-hmm. And let's switch it up to Breece Hall. It seems like every starting fantasy, like top 5 or top 3 running back in my fantasy leagues, beyond Bijan Robinson, Breece Hall, McCaffrey are all busts right now. And I got the over on this one. I think Breece Hall, to me, he's really talented. It's got to come out of him sometime. And 49.5 is not a big number, but we've been keeping their running backs under every week.
Yeah.
But this is the week that that's a low number. I think the over.
Yeah, I agree. 50 is a low number. So it was a tough one for me. I was right on the edge here. I just went with under because I expect the Vikings defense to be dominant and shut down the run, probably get a quick lead on the Jets. And so the Jets will want to throw the ball a little bit more. And so I think that Breece Hall will do most of his damage with check down passes. He may catch 5 balls this game and do his damage that way. And then I also see a split workload between Breece Hall and Braylon Allen, who's been the better runner so far through 4 weeks for the Jets. So I'll take the under just based on how the Vikings defense has been playing the run, but with also how I kind of see the game script going.
And we're switching to Sam Darnold. The number is 218.5. And you got him at?
I took the under because I think Sam's under has actually hit a couple times already this year. And it's hit despite the Vikings putting up a lot of points and being efficient to where he's throwing touchdowns, but not for a ton of yards. And like I said, I expect them to try to run the ball a lot. This is a really good and stingy pass defense that they're playing. So although I took the over on Justin Jefferson getting his 80 yards and I took the over on Addison getting his 40 yards, I still think that ultimately he throws for probably less than the 218. But the Vikings still get the win.
And the reason why I'm going over is I think Justin Jefferson, I just think he enjoys the moment, and I just think this is going to be overseas. It's like when Thielen did the soccer slide. Mm-hmm. Justin Jefferson wants to make his mark in another country, and I just think he's due for a game. He's due for one of those games. And then I obviously think Addison's going to go over, so that doesn't leave a whole lot of yards left to break this 218, and that's why I'm doing it. But our nemesis for years, Aaron Rodgers, is at a 223.5, and you and I both picked the under on this.
Yep. I think he's going to be pressured a lot. I think he's going to get the ball out quickly. I think that the Vikings defense is going to hold the Jets to a really tough day. And I know that we've mentioned it already, but we don't see the Jets scoring a lot of points this game. So give me the under on this.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers can turn it on, right? And they could just throw it all game long. So there's the danger of that, of losing this. But if our defense is fully capable of keeping him under, just fully capable of it. And, like you said, he's older. He looked beat up this last game. This might be a game where we just cause havoc on him, and he doesn't have enough time to get rid of the ball. And like I said earlier, he likes to throw it away. to live another day. And this would be and you talk about checkdowns, the running back. If anybody checks down the running back, it's him. He can do that, and he does that. And I don't think that's a bad thing to say about a quarterback. That's again living another day, getting yardage, not having third and longs, not having second and 12s, shit like that. So I think our defense can handle him. I think they're going to come after him. I don't think they have a lot of third down conversions. I think that's going to be low. I think we're going to put them in a lot of third and long situations. Aaron's going to have a rough day.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so let's pick the game. Do you want to go first, Dave?
So I already said they're scored 10 points. So we're scoring 27. It's 27-10 Vikings. I just think this is the game. This is a game like the Giants, where we're not super flashy, except for Jefferson. He's gonna have a big day. But other than that, I just feel like we're still not ready to score 40 points. We're not that team. We're just not that team, and he's proven it every year. We're not even scoring 35 points, so it's like, okay, we're gonna get the 27. We're gonna tone it down. We're gonna do the 4-minute drill, cut, and we've been very good at it this year. But I don't think it's gonna be like San Francisco or the Packers, where we have to do that late fourth quarter drive just to keep the game out of reach. I think we'll have control the whole game. They may go into half with 3 points, and that's it. And I feel that good about this game.
I totally agree with you.
I think our defense is pissed.
Yeah, I think so too. I think going into halftime, they could either be scoreless or have like 3 to 6 points, but without touchdowns. That's what I'm gonna predict here. I'm gonna say final score of 20-12. Vikings win. I do think that the Jets defense is pretty good, so I'm going to kind of limit our points there, just a couple of touchdowns, maybe a couple of field goals there. I'll say Aaron Jones gets a touchdown, and I'll say Justin Jefferson keeps it going, gets another touchdown. He scored in all 4 games so far. And I'm going to say that the Jets don't score an offensive touchdown. They get 4 field goals to finish at 12 points. And Vikings win, go into the bye week undefeated at 5-0 with the date against Detroit Lions in a couple weeks.
That's right. I think this is a win. And you're a little closer than I am, but 8 points. You feel like the game's going to be a little closer throughout the game, that they're kicking field goals and not trying to score touchdowns?
Yeah. I just view it as being a little bit more of a frustrating game offensively for us, maybe a little bit more punting than what we've seen so far to start the season. Hopefully our offense doesn't turn the ball over. I would love to see a game with 0 turnovers on offense. That'd be great, especially against a team like this where
hasn't happened yet.
Really make their offense beat you, because I think that if you make their offense beat you, it's going to be tough for the Vikings to lose this game, because the Jets have looked pretty poor offensively through 4 weeks this year.
Yeah, if we win the turnover battle, I think it's us, and obviously it matters where you turn the ball over. But if we don't turn the ball over, I'll predict us a win every week with every game the rest of this year, and that's even if the other team doesn't turn the ball over, I would consider us the victor if we just don't turn the ball over. That's how good I think this team is. But yeah, that's it, man. I got us winning handily, just like the Giants game. I feel like it's the Giants game. Maybe they are a little bit better on the corner side of things. They're better on the corner side of things, and it does present a tougher matchup for our receivers. But Sam Darnold's this is 5 weeks in now. That was week 1, so it's going to be he's got it down a little bit better. Jefferson's ready to bust out, I feel. Just on a bigger stage, and everybody's watching. So,
yes, sir. Let's go get that win. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We will catch you after the game for our recap. Skol.
Vikes.